Can you spot the major differences between Avatar 1 and 2? Because we can't. Okay, unless you're talking about the tech, that we can talk about. We can't talk about the recycled plot, okay? From milestones in technology to breathing underwater, Avatar 2 quite literally took the series to a new epic level. One of the harder to miss differences in The Way of Water is the fact that it is underwater. This change was more noticeable for the cast since they had to act on set all day in water tanks.
Put us in a tank and do scenes that we have enough trouble with on dry land, and now do them with no oxygen.
We just hope the director, James Cameron, takes a safer approach if they do in fact move to a more volcanic environment. So it seems like James wanted to take the franchise down a big turn when shifting towards a more family-central story. Since it is 15 years after the events of the first one, we think it makes a lot of sense to just kick off the rest of the Avatar series with a family.
In the first one, it says, you got to find something worth fighting for. Now he's found it more with his own family.
The camera guru, Pavel Achatel, innovated 3D technology just for Avatar 2. Avatar 1 brought 3D back to the big screen, but now the team had to somehow capture 3D footage underwater. The solution? Simple. Bring Achatel and have him develop DeepX 3D. His job was to make it more efficient to capture this footage underwater. Now you know you've got a big movie franchise when a brand new software is created for your movie. The CGI company Weta FX actually developed this software that allows Cameron to capture more accurate performances from his actors on water and land. And you know what you'd need a whole lot of to do that? Money, which we'll circle back to in a bit. Unlike Avatar 1, Avatar 2 was carefully crafted at the same time the rest of the series of films were written. This was done to make sure each film could stand on its own, yet still act as part of a franchise. And so, Cameron gathered a whole bunch of writers and they created a decades-long blueprint. The original composer for the first Avatar created this beautiful score, but unfortunately, between the first and second project, he passed away and couldn't compose for the rest of the series. But he still was a bit connected to it. His partner, Simon Franklin, was there to pick up the pen, to write music inspired by this great friend and musician. And so he'd kept the same style, but of course added a little something different to the mix. Alright, so Cameron worked super hard to keep the same PG rating for the Avatar sequel, but he decided that he was gonna make it just a bit more family-friendly than the first one, and so he felt it was for the best, aka ticket sales, to take out any of the more sensual scenes between Jake and Neytiri, because that would attract the younger audience. Boo! So instead of filming one at a time, we all know James Cameron is just a little bit nuts. So why not film 3 movies all at once? That wasn't the original plan before the success of Avatar, but the team decided it'd be way more efficient to just shoot close to 3 films before Avatar 2 even released. And is it just us, or is that an insane amount of shots to put together in post? So, because they filmed 3 movies all at once, they actually had to have, everything. A whole lot of everything. More props, sets, actors. All the while, innovation is still happening. They're still innovating the way the films are being shot. We can't even imagine managing this much for a couple of films, let alone the pressure of making it entertaining for audiences. The producer, John Landau, had to explain, our sets are big, and we have an incredible design team that does those. Brendan Cowell, who's the captain of the Sea Dragon, was on a 60-foot boat on a motion base, and it was real. It was tactile. 7 minutes long. And at the same time, they somehow had to move naturally underwater. Seriously, can you even picture yourself doing that? After 30 seconds, we'd be scrambling for the surface. They all deserve awards for being able to act underwater, for sure. When Avatar 1 came out, it seemed like there were only 3D and regular viewing options. But since the evolution in how we watch films has progressed so rapidly, and we're not talking from home, we can now see Avatar 2 in 4 different ways. We're talking IMAX, 3D, high frame rate, and regular versions if you're that kind of person. You can literally never get enough of Avatar, no matter how much you watch it. So can you imagine being given $1 billion to make a bunch of films? Well, a lot of filmmakers can't imagine that. However, with how successful the first movie was, 20th Century Studios was all in, and they decided they should just put all their trust in Cameron's films and give him a massive lump sum budget. Has that ever happened before? All right, let's just be honest here. He'll make at least 6 times that after these movies are released anyway. Honestly, we're kind of relieved that they kept some of the main characters the same at least, and the big differences were just to the technology. But what did you think about all the changes? Let us know in the comments.